what are large language models? Someone already asked me. So they are general purpose large language models which are pre-trained, and then we need to do a fine tuning for a specific purpose. So what ChatGPT does, or OpenAI did, is they took the whole internet and trained this large corpus of data, and they are trained till 2021 till 2023. Now ChatGPT 4 has that access. So they pre-trained it. What is training is, if you know AI, it's very involved, where you find the patterns in the data, and it takes a lot of energy, GPUs. So just to give you the complexity and the resources requirement, ChatGPT for 1 day training was consuming whole San Diego energy. So it's that much involved. Can we do it as mid-size or low operators? Obviously no. So the opportunity falls into how do we consume these pre-trained models and make a lot of applications or uses out of it for our businesses or anything your dreams are. So this is what large language models look like. And these are the desired outcome: text, classification, knowledge answering, translation, dialogue generation. These are some of those very old slides. But Bloomberg, the financial institution, came out with the financial data. So applications are all over. There are open source community like Hugging Faces, where people who are practitioners in industry, they are building different kind of pre-trained models, and they are putting for you and me, people like who are practitioners in industry, to consume this and build application around this. Most of them are open source, so you can go and tap in there. Now, before I go further, one more small concept of something called feature engineering. What is a feature engineering? You'll see it here. Feature engineering is a number of inputs going into any machine learning model or any AI model. So in a simple supervised learner, you may have 100 or 150 features to predict some sales outcome or something. But you have the whole internet data. How many features you need to know? It's just crazy, right? So if you have 350 million parameters going into a corpus, this is what you see an outcome. 750 million, this is an outcome. 3 billion and 20 billion, you see the outcome of those training involved. So going back to this slide, GPT was trained at 175 billion parameters. There are Metatron Fine Tuning NLG, natural language generator, is trained at 530 billion parameters. So we saw an impact here for 20 billion. Imagine the power of the parameters this pre-trained models are trained on. Now, these are most popular large language models for someone who's been exposed first time. OpenAI, Google Palm, it does multilingual capacity for aiming, generating text. If you did Google translation in past, if you take English, Vietnamese to English, English to Vietnamese, and reverse, it wasn't working right. Now it is so flawless. And these are T5 models behind the scene, and it's GAN basically. DeepMind came up with Meta, Baidu, a specialized model like M2M by Facebook. So they are popping up almost a monthly basis. So we were very interested in medical. So I brought a list of medical models. Most is Biomed by BERT. DeepMind has AlphaFold. PubMed, I have built an application on PubMed where I was able to take cancer encyclopedia of thousands and thousands of books and was able to create bot on it. So if you guys want to look at it, please drop me a message. We can set up a separate session to go more deeper into it. But these are all exciting opportunities. So now we understand generative AI. We understand what's a large language model, what is an output of generative AI, and what large language model does, and what kind of applications we built. We understood the fine-tuning of it. Now not fine-tuning, what are the parameters needed, and we saw 350 billion parameter trained on certain large language model and how output is changed. So knowing all this thing, what we want to do is, we have now, let's say for an example, OpenAI, which built ChatGPT. What we want to do is get into this and fine-tune it for our own needs. So how do we do this? This is a fine-tuning by OpenAI. So fine-tuning, why we do it? It produces high quality of results by, rather than prompting, ability to train one or more example can fit into the prompt. So, and then take the token saving and shorten the prompt and lower the response rate. So right now, when you go into ChatGPT, you have a fixed format. You're going to give a natural language text. It has a fixed way to respond. If you are smart, you'll say, okay, just respond me in 10 words or 20 words. You then control the shortness of the prompt. But let's say you are building a real estate or legal firm or a medical company. You want to not only give an image, but also give report of the patient. You want to give X-ray. You want to give a couple of inputs, and you want large language model to be fine-tuned to respond in a report format which will solve your problem. So that's one of the use cases why fine-tuning is required in this kind of large language model. So what I'm saying here is it will take your input in multiple format and an ability to set it into small prompts, and will design your output based on what your design latency request is. So that's the goal. If you have used ChatGPT a little bit and you have gone to a little bit advanced level, you can control the tone of it, style, tone, and format. So that you can program in that you can design and program into fine-tuning model. So setting the style, tone, format, and quantitative aspect of it. So that you will control by designing the fine-tuning. And you will also have an ability to define a desired output. So for example, right now, I do not know, I think it's 1500 tokens, 1500 token restriction on the ChatGPT, maximum tokens it can generate. Let's say you want to generate 4,000. You have that ability to generate, or you want to generate 4,000 broken into 1,000 in 4 chunks, you have that ability. In the fine-tuning part, you also have an ability to retain certain prior knowledge and transfer to the next layer of fine-tune. So this is conceptually what it is. You also want to have correction and failures to follow up with complex prompt, so you can literally correct those things. And edge cases, like you want to reduce your computational time too. You will see the cost in the last slide, how the cost pile up when you do this kind of things. And perform a new skill. So let's say you want to design the same application for a super user versus a real PhD user who knows more detail. You can customize all this kind of things. So we should note that OpenAI particularly never openly said how we do the fine-tuning, but they are partnered with Microsoft. So behind the scene, if you Google it, try to find out, they are using something called Role Ranking Adoption, LoRa, which is basically behind the scene concept of fine-tuning. OpenAI has not officially revealed or explained any particular methodology for fine-tuning. However, widely accepted is LoRa, which is a process fine-tuning they are doing behind the scene. I was able to find the video, how it works. So you can go and what runs in ChatGPT inside Microsoft supercomputer. You will be able to learn more about it. And low ranking adoption, LoRa, how it works behind the scene. Now let's look at what is fine-tuning, how it does work. So this will go a little bit deeper, technical for people who are not, but don't stress out. So when you get into deep learning model, there's something called weight, bias, and activation. So when you put them in input, in the large language models, there are already pre-trained weights on the neural network. And then after that, as I was saying, when you have 3 sentences, it understands the meaning, embedding happens. So they are already pre-trained. So when you prompt something, what happens? Either it understands or it does not understand. But let's say you want to, and if you want to take this whole large language models and try to retrain it, you can imagine the cost and ability to do it, right? It's impossible. So what do we do in our case, who are the application builders or practitioner, to customize for real estate, for finance, any of your verticals? So what you do is you do something called a subset of weight, or you can say a lambda or gamma function here, where you are able to update the weights rather than trying to train all the weights of the large language model, which is a lot of power and money, right? So what do you do is you are able to pass your own weights, and somehow you are able to multiply your pre-trained weights with an updated weights, and you are able to keep this portion with you and tap into large language models. That's the concept of fine-tuning. This you own it, this portion where my cursor is going, and this is your work, and this is pre-trained model OpenAI. So this is how you do conceptually fine-tuning. I'll go further. So this will break down for you. Instead of having retrain and build billion parameters for ChatGPT, we can instead only need to update 1 to 2% of the parameters of the weights. And in OpenAI, then we just save those extra weights and allow you to access the fine-tuned model. So these are the 2 steps you'll do from concept point of view. How does fine-tuning works? From our perspective is take a base model, train the data set for fine-tuning, know the input and design the output, which we talked about it. But in our case, we said we are not going to try to train the whole large language models, right? And these are an example, like fine-tune data for client requests, review, and legal documents for preparing for a house document. So you want an output is what kind of property right department should produce this document about. So summarize it, change the style and tone of your own custom prompt, fine-tune very specific structure, classify. Someone asked me about generative, I will come to it. How does discriminator work? So now I will explain a little bit on that. How do we now do which I said here, what is this this portion? Weight update. And I want to make sure that when I'm fine-tuning the large language model, I want a desired outcome. I don't want it to hallucinate all over the world and give me anything. So for that, what you'll do is you will pre-train your desired outcome to be a labeled one. You say, I want only real estate data. I want specific to the property rights department data. And then you will prompt that with the weight management change, and you'll throw it into large language model. When it comes, it will discriminate. It will classify as, is this a department, property department data or not department data? And it will eliminate all of it and reduce and throw the error out of it. So I know it might be too complicated to understand in this short time, but hopefully in Q&A we'll address it more. So this is what it looks like in terms of pricing and the opportunity for people who are in the entrepreneurial space. I see it like you can have your ATM machine for sure. So this is an input cost, 0.0010 cents. Output is at the GPT 3.4 Turbo. If you access them, this is what they're asking. And if you fine tune, you get an output in this format. And training cost is 0.8, output is 0.6. input is 0.3. So you're almost doubling your opportunity here in terms of after you fine tune and make it available for others to consume. That's a financial opportunity. So I spoke a lot, very detailed, not very detailed, but give you enough to go and explore. And this is where you need to go and look at how these things work behind the scene. So platform at openai.com. I hope you all have created your OpenAI login. You go there and this is what you'll see: fine-tuning, assistant, API, files, usage, the menu. And I'm trying to create a secret key here, which is required for you to access any OpenAI models. And when you go inside, like this is when you access, I just brought a code example from OpenAI. How do you import client chat, create a session with model 3.5 turbo, and I'm passing some kind of a role system context and a sentence and what I was talking about fine tuning, a simple example. But when you go inside this one, you will see something like this, which takes a JSON input and Python input too, I think so. So you will be able to post your message the way I build it in AI, and compile and get a response what chat is giving before even you build it. So for someone who is not as technical to code this, you can go behind the scene and try to fine tune and get more insight about it. That was the goal, to explore. You also have image input, you have streaming, you have different functions you can create. You can select different kind of models, frequency. Then fine-tuning based objects. These are, you can create a fine-tuning job. All these things, please explore by yourself. In my case, I went here and I took ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo. I was able to play with it. There you have to look at, name your model before you train. And then it creates job ID and also gives you loss functions and training losses, all this thing in more detail. It also gives you to select your base model, upload your own file. So this is not overwhelming. In fact, this is very easy for someone who has inquisitive mind and wants to explore more. Go to the platform, log in there, try to upload your pre-trained data, play with it, existing use cases, and you can validate and do all those things here. It will be fun. So in my case, I was trying to, as I said, ChatGPT pre-trained models, which I built. I'm using it here. I brought it here. And that's pretty much it from the fine-tuning perspective. Now, last thing I wanted to show you guys was, there's unlimited talk on this, but it's open for Q&A. So go ahead and drop it. I'll open for chat too. Anyone wants to ask questions, they can raise hand, but I'm trying to open everyone to talk. Yeah, Sean. So go ahead.
So I'm a Java developer for last 20 years, and recently I started learning Python, and I'm trying to enhance my knowledge, and I want to adopt this AI technology, and so for the future job opportunities. So how can how can I start, and where I can start? And I'm this yesterday and today I started joining your sessions. So I'm I'm very basic step. I'm not sure how to proceed.
Yeah, thank you for asking this amazing question. So we solve this problem for you or someone like you, not specific for you. We design a program which you are seeing here, which starts with, and this is what I call transition program. It's exactly targeted towards professionals who are already in the industry and wants to take quick preview of how to get into it, how they can avail this opportunity, how to learn this and accelerate themselves and build their own applications. You have spent 20 years doing this, so for you it's just a matter of jumping in, diving in, and should be able to do it. So I'll just quickly run by it. Here is I think I have a better version. And this is available on our website. I think this is a faster and better version. So what we understood as professionals, we have to also upgrade our team. We have data scientists, analysts, software engineers. This is what exactly we did. We brought the foundational of AI, which I was talking, GAN, whatever concept building is, know all of it. From there, you get into introduction of GenAI, which is now you will do the natural language processing, which is behind the scene, word to vec transform, ITF-DF transformation, how this word embedding work. And from there, you will deep dive into the deep learning part, where now you are building encoder, decoder, encoder models. So we open the hood for ChatGPT, T5, and BERT. So you'll see the code base behind how GenAI works, and you will be able to modify this at a small scale, not too high at the GPU of your laptop or Colab. So that's what you learn. And then you, from there, start building applications with Llama-Index, LangChain, modify the GAN models, build. And this is Python based, but you can do it in Java and you can do it in JavaScript too. It does not have to be a thing. And from there, you go, this runs 3 days. Day 1 is what I told you. Day 2, you go into deep learning GAN models, where you modify those models, do the word embedding, and build an application out of it. Day 3 is focused on bringing 3 most valuable use cases: healthcare, real estate, and we did edtech or fashion, where you will see how we modified these models. And then towards the end, you get to build your own model for about 8 to 10 hours with us. And you bring your own strategy. We'll teach you how to deploy it, how to architect it, and how to build your own experience. So I hope that answered your question. I was not trying to make a sales pitch, but give you what it takes to get into this in a quickest and fastest way. And we are based in Irvine, so you can obviously approach us. And from self-doer point of view, start fine-tuning it. Start learning this concept, which I told you, as simple as that. And go after GAN. Don't waste your time into learning. No, it's a bad thing to say. Quantitative or statistical modeling is good, and you should learn it, but you're not required that deep as it was required for data scientists. But beyond that, you should be able to adopt these things very well. Does it help?
Yeah. So right now, so if that is the case, so where I will end up with this, like, after learning this, so what kind of opportunities I might, going forward, might receive, or I might end up.
Yeah, depend upon your desired outcome. A desired outcome can be you want to just be an AI app developer, to an entrepreneur, and to a researcher. It's depend upon it, right? For you, I'm no one to say what you can do or what you cannot do, but natural progression look like you build things, right? Make sense? I think she got dropped. Yes.
No, I'm here. Yeah.
So we can set up another call, or you can just drop me a message and I can give you more time. No problem with that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you.
I have enabled 2 people to talk. So one is AQC.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Arshad. Nice to meet you, sir. My name is Ekoya. I'm from Montreal. I'm just in vacation here in LA. I'm a professional data analytic background in Montreal, and I really want to connect with people here in LA in the data science AI field. So I would like to share, to know the ecosystem here, to know how things are going here, the startup, the opportunities too, because my wife is from the US and I'm planning to move here in the US. So I just want to, I'll have a question. So it will be a pleasure to connect later with you, Ashad, or everybody on the call, if it's possible to share my email.
Yes, sure. Go ahead and drop, and my team will pick up. We have a team to follow through and set up a time. But welcome, and I was a former player, so I know Madrid, right? Very well.
Okay.
And I wasn't.
And I saw the article of GTP that you showed of University of Montreal, and the one on the base of the GPT. So I have a question for you. When you providing training to people, do you hire people? And if you hire, what are the kind of position that you're looking for? This question is the perspective that I'm planning to move in the US. So I just want to have a good idea of the AI and ML ecosystem here in LA.
Yeah, sure. We can talk more detail because there are people who are waiting for their questions on this webinar. So
Okay.
I'll give you all the time. I'm sorry, but I have to address them too.
Okay, perfect.
For that. But we are practitioners in industry, so we hire for ourselves in short term.
Okay.
Not a job placement agency or something. We are practitioners. We have our company from last 9 years. So okay, next.
Thank you.
Thank you for the informative event, Arshad. I would love to hear more about your work and learn more of the transitioning into a data science / AI role, because I'm in the middle of just finishing my bootcamp in AI and data science, and I'm sending my resume, and I'm on a network to get myself into the AI data science roles. Do you have some time within the next week to discuss?
Sure. You can just drop a message on the chat. I will make sure that either me or one of my scientists will give you enough time. That's part of our service. So I'm not doing any obligation. We just like to educate and see if we can correlate with you guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I sent that message. I just didn't know if I was gonna have a chance to say it verbally because I thought it was gonna end soon.
What was your question? Is it?
But it was basically what I was
Okay.
bringing up right now because I didn't know if I was gonna verbally be able to say it. But there was questions I did mention previously.
Yeah, congratulations for what you have done. The shift is faster, which 90% people or maybe 100% we meet have background into this, for sure. So as the faster you adopt, the faster you build prototypes, the faster you target towards what you want. It needs transformation skills. The ground up is hard. Ground up takes masters, to be honest. So,
Right. Yeah, I do have a background in computer science and engineering.
Yeah.
But I knew that there was a new trend towards AI from last year, and I knew I had to shift and learn the skills necessary. But I do have some questions previously in the webinar that wasn't addressed in terms of the LLMs generating images accurately, and how would you describe them in text through NLP?
It's a BERT model, so it's the decoder behind the scene. So how does it transform text to image? It is deeper than I can explain you in 1 or 2 minutes. We'll sit together and talk more. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay, that sounds good.
It's more deeper. Catherine? Hi, how are you? See one more person raising hand. Yes, go ahead. Can you, I ask you to unmute. Ratia Nizam, go ahead, please.
Hi, what are some applications of AI in systems engineering?
System engineering is a vast field. If you can break it down a little bit, that will be helpful for me.
So I recently joined as a systems engineer. I've mostly been doing help desk support, but I want to contribute more to the company. Obviously, my background is in DevOps. I was a middleware consultant on an infrastructure team, so I'm trying to figure out how I can streamline processes at my company and just learn about what other systems engineers at higher levels have been doing, how they've been using AI, if you have any knowledge of that.
Sure. It comes to basically conversational AI, or you can say automation. So if you, do you guys get ticketing system?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can prioritize tickets. You can auto-respond tickets. You can respond the tickets with pre-filled template. So for example, some users, I used to work 10 years in Bank of America, so I know this pain. not in the operations, but in the AI department. So for example, some users just need basic 101 guidance, right, on certain tools, which does not even need human intervention. That can be automated. I'm just making up something. Now from, if you can give me one pain point, I can go more detail.
Yeah, no, that was interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, so from automation point of view, you have to pursue, as I was saying, fine-tune models. So your step number one will be take your use case, go into ChatGPT. And the way you solve it is just give him the step-by-step. And if you see relevance in the way ChatGPT is responding, and give a persona to ChatGPT that your user is semi-intelligent, but respond is from a 10 years, 20 years experience system engineer or operations engineer. So please respond to me in this fashion and see how that template comes out. If you have a case there, which you should, there's no reason you should not, then you get into fine-tuning this the way I was telling you in a simple embedded way by using some Llama Index, LangChain, or OpenAI, the backend I showed you. You take that 3.5 turbo, put that input and see how it is coming. If you get that far, then it's just a matter of putting the code automating, or you can use the backend and stimulate, and there are a couple of open like pre-integrated model where you don't have to build any UI for it. It will do it for you. So you can just publish it on public URL and see how it goes. Make sense?
Got it. Thank you.
No problem. Who is the next one? Thank you all. It's about 1:30. I wish you rest of Sunday very good for you. And we'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Arshad.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nice meeting you all.